Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another live stream. What are we today? Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m., the 23rd of July. And of course, it is election day in Spain. The general elections, the much anticipated, much awaited general elections that are taking place today around the whole country. Remember, a couple of months ago, we had autonomous community elections, we had regional elections, we had local elections. But today is the big show, the real deal with the general elections. And the majority of news today is focusing on that, although we won't have a result on this election until later this evening, possibly, or maybe even tomorrow, because remember, millions potentially of postal votes coming through. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. Now, the first piece of news today, let's have a look at it. And as we can see, Spain today chooses between Sanchez and his partners or political change. Almost 37.5 million Spaniards have been called to the polls today to choose the composition of Congress and the Senate and to decide who will govern Spain in the coming years. Since the party system broke down in 2015, the 176 seats needed to govern have been a headache for all presidents. First for Mariano Rajoy, then for Pedro Sanchez, and without the magic number of 176, there is no way to guarantee stability. Fragmentation led to bloc politics, so-called polarization, and an endemically radicalized political conversation in Spain. So basically that's what we're dealing with at the moment. Very, very difficult for either of the two major parties to get a majority in the Congress, the House of Parliament in Spain. 176 seats needed. Neither of the two parties, the big parties, will get anywhere close to that. So they're going to have to go into coalition with either a right-wing party, which is Vox, or a left-wing party, which is called Sumar, and other groups on the left will be needed to form government. For example, some of the nationalist parties, no doubt, will be needed. So we'll wait and see. But as I said, we won't get a result in this until perhaps tonight around 11 p.m., maybe even later, or tomorrow morning, provided that all of those postal votes are counted. Now, I'll just go into the chat here to make sure that everything is working clear, and you can hear me loud and clear. You can see me loud and clear. So let me know if there are any problems in that chat section. Let me know, please. Now, the second piece of news, the first politician or major politician to vote today was Pedro Sanchez, and as we can see here, he was the first candidate to vote, and he said, "I don't want to be too optimistic, but I have a good vibe." Polling stations open their doors at 9 a.m. this Sunday so that the more than 37.4 million citizens called to the polls this Sunday could exercise their right to vote. The Ministry of the Interior, or Spain's Home Ministry, has reported that 100% of the polling stations have been set up without incident and with absolute normality. Voting will be open until 8 p.m. The president of the government and PSOE candidate, Pedro Sanchez, was one of the first to cast his vote at a polling station in Madrid shortly after the opening of the polling station. "I don't want to be too optimistic," he said, but I have a good vibe. He said that on his way out. So there we go. Mr. Sanchez has a good vibe that he will be re-elected. Of course, he'll need to go into coalition with the political party Sumar if he wants to govern again for another 4 years. And as we know, Spaniards deciding today whether he will come back or whether they want a change. So we'll wait and see. But Sanchez, as we saw, has a good vibe, whatever that means. Now, the next piece of news here, hundreds of travellers were trapped at Valencia Ave station due to a breakdown that prevents trains from moving. Chaos, unbearable heat and no air conditioning, not knowing if they will be able to vote, with contradictory information. Hundreds of people are stuck this Sunday morning, the day of the general elections, at the AVE or Ave station in Valencia, without being able to catch their trains due to a serious incident. The circulation of trains to and from Valencia has had to be suspended after a fire broke out near the San Isidro tunnel and the water pumps have stopped working. A DIF sources have confirmed to this newspaper. The heat is unbearable and we are not even sure we will be able to get to Madrid today. There are many people who are protesting about the fact that they won't be able to vote. So this was the big story of the day, earlier today at least, the train problem in Valencia, stopping hundreds, if not thousands of people from getting to their destination, and many people not able to vote. And of course, the opposition party, the PP, said that these people's vote needs to be respected in any way, shape or form. So we'll see how this one plays out and whether or not those people were able to get to their destinations because of a fire in a tunnel and subsequent flooding of the tunnel, because they use water obviously to put the fire out. That flooded the tunnel after the fire, and these people stuck in Valencia, not going anywhere. I don't know if the situation has been rectified. I imagine that it has, and people are able to travel as normal, but this morning chaos in Valencia because of those train problems. So bit of an issue there in Valencia. Now I'll have a look here. Let me have a look here if I can get some feedback on the sound quickly. Nothing yet, so I imagine that everybody can hear me well, but I'll keep an eye on that as I go through the live stream. And the final piece of news today, this one here, Europe needs 1.7 million extra construction workers to achieve zero emissions by 2050. At this rate, the old Europe will not make it in time. The EU and the United Kingdom have set 2050 as the deadline for achieving net zero, a scenario in which the balance of greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere is zero. Those that are captured offset by those that are contributed. But according to analysts at the prestigious Oxford Economics Consultancy, the measures that have been put on the table so far will be insufficient to achieve this. If Europe wants to end emissions by the middle of the century, it will have to be much more ambitious in the design of its policies, and will need 1.7 million additional workers in construction alone, some 300,000 more than those affiliated in Spain in this field. The green jobs gap will be filled, they add, if the world's most developed region doubles the pace of closing the gender gap in the sector. So the big issues facing the European Union and the United Kingdom for 2050 to get that zero emissions rate, which they have set as an objective. So we'll see, but 1.7 million extra construction workers needed to achieve this. And the question is, where are these workers going to come from? Are more women going to go into the sector? Because as we saw there is a gender gap in that sector. More men than women working in construction. So we'll see what happens as far as that is concerned to get to that very ambitious net zero by 2050. Now I'm going to go into the comment section now. First one here from Sophie. I'm hearing Sanchez is going to call for a repeat of the elections, which will give him another 6 months. I live in Tenerife. It's like voting for the best of a bad bunch. We could talk about all the lies Sanchez has told, but we haven't got time. Although he says he doesn't lie, he just changes his opinion very often. That's exactly what he said. Exactly. He didn't admit to lying. He didn't admit to saying that he wouldn't do a lot of the things that he ended up doing. He said that he had a change of opinion, and everybody has the right to change their opinion should the circumstances change. When he said that he wasn't going to go into a coalition government with Podemos, he lied about that because he did. When he said that he wasn't going to do deals with political parties that want to break Spain into pieces, he did end up doing deals with those political parties, most notably in the Basque Country and in Catalonia, where there are separatist forces. So interesting there, but as pointed out here by Sophie, he doesn't lie, he just changes his opinion. And as far as a repeat of the elections is concerned, haven't heard anything about that. So I don't know what Sophie's talking about, but nothing in the press that I have seen today in the last couple of hours that I have been monitoring the press that suggests that they are going to repeat the elections. But if there is a hung parliament, which is more than likely, there could be a repeat of the elections, but of course nothing official on that yet. But we'll keep an eye on it, because as we saw back in, 2015 or maybe even 2014, very difficult for political parties to come to an agreement, because when they sit down and work out their ideas, sometimes they don't agree. Another comment here from Drulia Sanchez isn't the Prime Minister, he's the President of the government. Yes, that is true. In Spanish, they say Presidente del Gobierno. But in English, we say Prime Minister, the First Minister. In England, there's a Prime Minister, or the United Kingdom, there's a Prime Minister. Scotland, I think, has a Prime Minister. Australia has a Prime Minister. New Zealand has a Prime Minister. Canada has a Prime Minister. Any country that is not a republic generally has a Prime Minister. Spain is not a republic. It's a constitutional monarchy. So in English, we say Prime Minister. Here in Portugal, they also say Prime Minister. But in Spain, they've invented this term President of the government, whatever that means. But basically, he's the First Minister, or in other words, the Prime Minister. Another one here from Adam. I wonder how much longer the Pope will manage to stay relevant, if he still is, when the dying church has all but pulled the plug on itself. Controversial topic, not going to talk too much about it, but an institution that has been around for as long as this one, I think will continue for a little while yet. I don't think it's going to come to an end anytime soon. And we can see here in Portugal, with the upcoming World Youth Catholic Day, that there's going to be literally millions of young people coming to the country to see the Pope and to also celebrate that day. The Pope's going to pay a visit to Portugal. He's also going north to Fatima, the place of, a place of prominence in the Catholic religion. Fatima, one of the prominent places. The Pope's going to visit there as well. Lisbon and Fatima. So still alive and kicking. And I don't think that comment really will have any impact. I don't think the sentiment of that comment will really be, I don't think we'll see it, let's just say. Another one here from Richard. Roads are not used for free. They're all paid for by the taxpayer. Tolls are a double charge. Yeah, lots of people pointed this fact out, that of course roads are not free. They have been paid for with taxpayer money. And if you slap a toll on a road, it is in fact a double charge. As they say in Spanish, like a double imposition on the taxpayer. You pay for them up front, and then you pay for the maintenance. And of course, if you slap a toll on them, you get direct money, let's say, out of the people that use those roads. And a good point was also put forward that people that don't use a car, for example, still have to pay for roads with their taxes. They might travel on the roads, but not as frequently as car owners. So that was also pointed out. And I also mentioned here in Portugal that the majority of roads, important roads, motorways, roads that want to get you anywhere quickly, are all paid roads. You have to pay charges for them. I mentioned in yesterday's video that you can drive from Madrid to the Portuguese border, pay €0, and then as soon as you cross the border and get to Lisbon, you're around 25 or 26 euros out of pocket, maybe even more. To drive from Lisbon to Porto, it's around 22, 23 euros, I think. Don't quote me on that because I haven't done that trip for a while, but all of the major roads here, the good roads, you have to pay for them. To get to Spain, if you want to get there quickly, if you don't want to take 10 hours to get there, which is normally a 3.5-hour trip, you have to pay for the roads. If you want to go north, you have to pay for the roads. If you don't want to get stuck in horrendous slow traffic behind trucks that don't want to pay the tolls, and that's what you'll see on other Portuguese roads that are not toll roads. So you've got to pay for roads here, and most likely as of 2024, we're going to have to pay for roads in Spain if something doesn't change. Another one here from Lee. Regarding the tolls, we have used the old coastal carretera 332 to and from the airport in Alicante for almost 40 years. A new toll highway was built, but nobody uses it, and the 332 is now jammed during the summer. Exactly, because people don't want to pay for roads. It's clear. If you've got a free alternative, it will be jam-packed with traffic because people don't want to pay for the roads, which can be expensive. So I did notice that when I went to Alicante, you drive from Madrid to, I don't know what point in Alicante province you drive to, but then all of a sudden you have to come to a toll booth and you get a ticket and you have to pay. And that's what the situation is like in a lot of that Levante coast. There have been tolls over the last few years that have been removed. The current government is beating its chest about that they have removed tolls, that the concession expired and they went on for a little bit longer than they should have. But again, if tolls are imposed on roads again in 2024, most likely tolls will come back on those roads where tolls were recently removed. And as somebody also pointed out in the comment section, crazy, right? But that's what it is. That's what it is. And another comment here, the final one from Atil APBC. Thanks for bringing up the toll fee in Portugal. I travel the EU, but I pay more fees in Portugal than in all the EU. Spain, Italy, Slovenia, Hungary, Austria, Germany, France trip. There we go. So somebody confirming there that the tolls here are expensive and difficult to avoid. There are alternatives, of course. As I said, you can take the national roads, but they are slow. And if you get stuck behind somebody who's not driving very fast, or you get stuck behind a truck, your trip can have hours added to it. So an issue, in my opinion, the fact that tolls could be imposed on Spanish roads next year, because driving here in Portugal, you do notice every time I look at my bank app, the charges that have been deducted because I've driven through this country. But as I said, what can we do? What can we do? Now I'm going to go into the chat section now. Oh, sorry, the chat section in just a minute. Remember that I can't change the backdrop. So anybody who has sent through a photo in recent times can't change it. I've got this new backdrop here, which is not fake. It's a real backdrop. Somebody said that I blend in well with the color of these tiles. I will blend in more with the color of these tiles as the summer goes on, because I get to that complexion almost. So we'll see if I end up changing the backdrop as my complexion changes over the summer, but we'll see. We'll see. Now I'm going to put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Just below the video, you will find the like icon. I was going to try and find out where that like icon is. Just there. Hit the like icon, please, if you can. And if you've got anything that you would like to add to the conversation, the email address is this one here, up the top, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And thanks to the people that have sent interesting articles through to me in recent times. Ernie sent some through, John, to name just two of the people that have sent interesting articles my way. And always looking for content about Spain. So anything interesting that you've got, send it to that email address, please. Now into the chat section I go. Let's see what's going on here. I'll just scroll up to the top. Let me see if I can get to the top here of the chat section. First one that I can see is from Erica. Erica says, hi from a muggy 31 degrees Celsius in Terrassa. Have spent a lovely Sunday, as was able to go home and not stay at a polling station all day. Not many people at 9 a.m. is the only thing that I can say. Well, there's a reason, Erica, that there's nobody at 9 a.m. because if you're the first person to vote and one of the people that are supposed to be at the polling station doesn't show up, they drag you in. That's why people are reluctant to get there at 9 a.m. That's all I've heard for the last week is don't get there too early, because if somebody doesn't show up, they'll get you. And a couple of people were substituted, and a couple of funny stories about people that maybe hadn't finished their Saturday night yet. When they turned up to vote, they thought, well, I'll go straight from the nightclub to the polling station. And of course, there were vacant chairs, and they were called up to sit there for the next 12 hours and accept people's votes. So not a good idea to be the first, Erica. That is what I have heard, just in case somebody who was supposed to sit there all day didn't show up. And believe me, some people don't. Another one here from Andrew. Good evening, Stuart and all. Hope you are well from a sunny but chilly London southeast. Yeah, don't know what the weather's like in the whole of the United Kingdom or the whole of England, but I saw in Manchester it was a very rainy day. A very rainy day, and I've never been so grateful for so much rain. What else we got going on here? One from SC. If Pedro Sanchez does get in, how long would it take him to bring in the 20-week parental leave policy? I'm due to be a dad for the first time in September. Yeah, I don't think that'll be the first thing that's changed, to be honest. That was a Podemos initiative, so I don't know whether that will change anytime soon. I think it currently sits at 4 weeks, is it? So 16 weeks. 4 months, 16 weeks. So I don't think it'll change in September, but if it does, I'll tell you on this channel. But I'm sure you'll find out for yourself if it does, to get those 20 weeks parental leave. Pauline coming in from very humid Rojales. And just while I'm on that topic, when I was a father back in 2010, 2 weeks is all I got. 2 weeks. So from 2 to 20, or from 2 to 16, a big jump. Thanks, Pauline, for that. Hot and humid where you are there. Mugga coming in also from El Campello. Hello, Mugga. Hope all is well today down there. Now that the lifeguards are back on the beach, of course. Canadian World War II historian UK will be in Torrevieja on Tuesday on his birthday, and with their partner, I should say, to see their dad. Thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoy your time down there. But I read that rain is forecast. Not sure when it's coming, but it's coming. Tony coming in also. Hi, Stuart. Congratulations on retaining the Ashes. A little help from the British weather. Absolutely, Tony. That's what happens when you hold a test match in that part of the world. There's a fairly high chance that it's going to rain. We've seen in the past that is the case. And of course, when you get a whole day's play completely washed out, what can you expect? And it's a shame because England was looking good. I thought actually that they were the better team in this game, obviously. But what can we do? What can we do? The Ashes stay in Australia. GG coming in from the Costa de Morte on the Lighthouse Camino, having mizzle, combination of mist and drizzle. Typical for that part of the world, GG, I think. Marianne also coming in from San Diego on pins and needles, waiting for the results of the elections in Spain. Yeah, as I said, Marianne, we probably won't get a result, any type of idea, until around 10 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier, depending. But there's a lot of postal votes that are going to have to be counted. And the way that the system works in Spain is that when all of the regular votes have been counted, the postman or postperson or the postie, and whatever you want to say, comes in with the bag of postal votes, puts them down on the table, and then the people that are at that polling station have to go through them one by one and put them in the individual urns, if you like, or the polling boxes. They call them here urns for some reason. I don't know whether we use that word in English, do we? I don't think so. But ballot box, I think, is the word that we use. What else we got going on here? Gino coming in with Isabella from Canada. Hello, Gino and Isabella. Hope you guys are well. Janet coming in from Oxford. Been a nice day. Shame about the rain in Manchester, but good for the Aussies. Well, what can I say, Janet? What can I say? Always good to retain the Ashes, but some people would have liked to see an exciting fifth test at the Oval down there in London. The weather might have been better. But as I said, when you have a test match in that part of the world, Manchester or anywhere in the north of England, yeah, that's what you might get. That's what you might get. Greetings all, says Stan. Coming in from Poland, I think, is Stan. Glee Smee coming in from 1,000 Oaks, California, where it's a comfortable 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you very much, Glee Smee. Good to see you here. I'll just check something here quickly. Erica also saying that we haven't had autonomous elections yet. Another voting day pending. Well, I think they were last year, weren't they, Erica? As like in Andalusia, so probably a few more years down the line. But that's right. Catalonia didn't have autonomous elections. Here we go. JMW. What do you make of the flood and fire stopping the AVE from Valencia to Madrid, stopping PP voters from getting to the urns? Well, stopping both sides of the political spectrum from voting. I'm sure that there were PSOE voters on that train as well, not only PP voters, people eager to get back, because a lot of people had set their plans around the 23rd of July, went down to Valencia probably to start their holidays, planned the trip back, didn't manage to get a postal vote done in time. I know some people that went to Almeria and decided to come back to Madrid to vote, came back yesterday, voted today, and then are heading off again tomorrow to another destination. So lots of people doing something similar. I'll just check my phone here quickly. Just thought I had a message there. Another one here from Sean Away, 123, evening from County Waterford. Any exit polls indicating outcome? Haven't seen anything yet, Sean. When I checked just before going live today, there was nothing yet. but apparently voter turnout 4 percentage points down on 2019. So I think it was around, well, I don't know the exact figure, so I won't say anything, but 4 percentage points down. Vietnam 1968 coming in from Orlando, Florida. Hope all is well in Portugal. Absolutely, Vietnam, all is well here. Can't complain. Antonio putting his political allegiance on the table here, hoping that Vox wins. Well, they're not going to win, Antonio. They're going to get probably the same amount of seats that they got in the last elections. That's their core voting group. I don't think anybody's changing to vote for Vox, but they won't win. What else we got going on? Good luck, España, says David. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Mr. Sanchez holds on. We saw before that he has a good vibe. He's feeling positive. He was feeling positive this morning with a good vibe. So we'll see if he's able to hold on, or whether or not Mr. Feijóo takes power, or hung Parliament. Elections in 6 months, which was mentioned before by that viewer in Tenerife. Well, so it's not completely off the table. What else we got going on here? Yes, a good place to hang out, as I asked previously. I don't know what Barry's talking about there. I might have missed that thread. Diego coming in. How many expats are going to leave Spain if Sanchez is winning? Is he the next Hugo Chavez? I hope in the change. Don't know, Diego. I don't think any expat or foreign residents are going to leave Spain if Mr. Sanchez wins. I think the majority will continue, because the general politics, I don't think, interfere a lot in their lives, and they're enjoying their lives, I imagine, as most foreign residents are in Spain, or at least the ones that I've spoken to. Wouldn't go anywhere else, I don't think. Rosie coming in from a delightfully cool Belgium, an American. There is Rosie. Rosie's been a regular contributor over the years. Mimi WH, hola Stu, estamos en Puerta del Sol ahora. Gracias por tu trabajo y información sobre las actualidades de España. Estamos visitando desde Portland, Oregon. I remember Mimi, yeah, she sent me an email asking, or maybe it was a Facebook message or something, asking me about a decent place to get a menú del día with a whole bottle of wine, or a full bottle of wine. And I don't know too many places in the center of Madrid that still do that, but hopefully Mimi and family have found it. What else? Let's have a look here. Alan coming in from San Diego, California, back in San Diego. Don't know when Alan's coming back to Spain, but I think it's on the agenda, right, Alan? Pete coming in from Detroit, flying from Detroit to Los Angeles is Pete. I'll just add that one to the broadcast. There we go. Hope all goes well with your flight. Let's have a look what else we've got going on here. Pascal, there you go. Have a good vibe. Is it a double meaning for trying to influence the outcome of an election in any way, shape or form? Don't think so, Pascal. I think these are fairly clean elections. I don't think there's any hanky-panky going on. Some people were saying maybe the train incident was a bit of hanky-panky, and it might come to light that that was the case. I said it might come to light that that was the case, but at the moment it's just an accident. So we'll see what happens. But as I said, there were literally thousands of people, I think, not able to get to Madrid, at least in the morning on those original trains. I don't know whether the situation was rectified. I didn't see anything about that. Stephen coming in from a sunny North London. Ironic that, isn't it? Sunny in the south, raining in the north. Tobias, sound is good. Thank you very much, Tobias, for that. Thanks for getting back to me on that sound issue. Temporary microphone, temporary setup, temporary computer, things that I don't normally use, only when I'm here. So sometimes to get the same sound quality, not easy. The visual quality is more or less the same camera, same lens, but the microphone can be an issue. Antonio saying that the sound's good in Malaga. Thank you very much for that, Antonio, for letting me know also. Ed's coming in from Barcelona, hot and lazy there, which sounds nice. Zach coming in from a cloudy Los Angeles, California. Lots of American viewers coming in, which is great. Pascal also adding to the debate that we saw before about the the construction industry. Yes, the gender gap in the HVAC industry is alive and doing well. These technicians, girls, are so much pleasant to deal with and honest. Gracias. There we go. What else? Glees me, 1.7 million construction workers, half of them women. Will the women be up to the requirements of the job, such as wolf whistling from scaffolding at passing guys? There we go, says Glees me, which as we know, has traditionally been common on construction sites. But I think the idea is to get gender equality in that sector. At least that's what they seem to be working on. England has a first minister. Yeah, what's another way of saying prime minister? Prime meaning the, first or the most important. So it's more or less the same. But what they don't say in any country that I've seen apart from here is president of the government when it's not a republic. So, for example, in the States, president. Germany, president. Portugal has a president. Republics normally have presidents. Constitutional monarchies or other systems normally a prime minister. And I looked it up today. Here in Portugal, the head of the government is called a prime minister, not president of the government, which is what they call them in Spain. What else we got here? Alan's saying that Scotland most certainly doesn't have a prime minister. Only a unitary state has that. Yeah, but first minister, prime minister. Is there much of a difference? That's the issue, isn't it? First, prime. I could be wrong, but I think prime is first, primero, right? In Spanish, primero, prime, first. I think it's very, very similar. Erica also saying here that she read an article in El País where there was an analysis based on a survey results published lately from different sources. There we go, Erica. Let us know more about that. Dawn coming in from a beautiful León in the north of Spain. Lovely city, León, especially this time of the year where it's not so warm and you can always escape to the mountains, can't you, up there? Bob coming in. Motorists also pay extra in car road tax plus the tax on fuel. Absolutely, Bob. Absolutely. Spot on. Let's have a look here. Marianne saying that Fatima is the site of an apparition of Mary, the mother of Jesus, to 3 children in the early 20th century. Yeah, I know the story, Marianne, but I know why it is an important place because 3 young children, as Marianne points out here, saw the apparition of, I think it was just something on a wall, wasn't it? I think that it was something, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I know the story. 3 children, and they went to report it to the local priest, and hence the legend. Gur coming in. Motorways around Madrid appear to have less tolls than in Navarra, Catalonia and Aragon. Madrid political privilege. Absolutely, Gur. Back in the day, Madrid, of course, being the capital of Spain, all of the attention was focused on it. All of the areas that got subsequent motorways had to pay for them. So in the Basque Country, when they wanted motorways, they had to pay for them. Catalonia also had to pay for them. Some other parts of the country, they wanted motorways. There wasn't any money, so they had to pay for them. But Madrid, of course, being the capital, did get political privilege. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Maybe not so much anymore, but back in the day, remember, all roads lead to Madrid. All roads lead to Madrid. And when you talk to people that have, for example, my partner's parents, they talk about the stories, when they first got a car back in the 1970s, and it used to take them 10 hours to get to Malaga because the roads weren't very good. Of course, all of those highways came later, but the Basque Country, Catalonia, wanted good roads sooner, and the only way to get them apparently was to put the money on the table, and they were paying for them for a very long time. Jeffrey saying that the roads in Spain are in a good state of repair, much better in general than in the USA. I assume that costs a lot of money. It does, Jeffrey. You're absolutely right. It does cost a lot of money to maintain the roads. And that's the whole issue with the European Union. The European Union wants that guarantee that Spain is going to be able to increase its revenues And this is one way that they can do it, sort of indirectly, so that, well, sort of is directly, I suppose, putting a toll on the roads, but they're not increasing VAT yet. And so that's important. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Steve's saying, read the toll roads that Spain has to pay off the massive debt they owe the EU somehow. The only one toll road in the UK that I know of. Trying to spit my words out there. Yeah, that's right. Trying to pay off that debt. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. The European Union wants guarantees, and that's what Mr. Sanchez did. He guaranteed that they would be able to pay some of that money back by raising revenues. Patrick had a car tax. I had a car that was off the road on my property, but I still had to pay road tax. When asked about it, they said all pays for one and one pays for all. There we go. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Randy is in the chat. Haven't seen Randy for a while. Just got here. Where am I? Well, I'm in Portugal, Randy. We'll catch up if you're around. So let us know. Thanks for the super chat, Randy. $10. Thank you very much for that. But as I said, Randy, if you are around, tranqui tronquista. It's trap. Don't know what's a trap. Wait and see what a trap is. Polling station. Can you vote as a resident? No. Randy, I cannot. Only Spanish nationals are allowed to vote in these elections. The rest of us just sit back and watch. What else? Pete saying that in Michigan, horrible roads, low taxes, everyone complains but nobody wants to pay. Hopefully not the sickness in Spain. Yeah, well, that's it. When you start to get bad roads, they do cost a lot of money to maintain. Yeah, back already, Randy, back already. So as I said, we'll be in touch. Yeah, 53% turnout, down from 19. I read 4 percentage points. So it must have been 57% in 2019 at this stage. Remember, what time is it in Spain? 8 o'clock. So, well, I think the polls are shutting now. So we'll start to get into revotes. There we go. Erica was asked to be a suplente and everyone else was there. We all left and waited for 9 a.m. to vote. There we go. Thanks for that, Erica. That's right. You might have to be a suplente. Julie coming in from a wet Elland, UK. There we go. Must be in the north. Any evaluations as to who is edging ahead in the elections? Not yet, Ed. I'm sure that there will be some exit polls, as somebody asked a while ago. I'm sure we'll shortly get some exit polls and some early results. I don't think they tend to do the exit poll like they do in Australia, for example, you know, where they have people waiting outside asking people who they voted for. I don't think they tend to do that here for some reason. They don't tend to do that here. Gurr, back in 2007, or 2007, got 2 working days, so no complaining, you recent fathers. Also, as a teacher, I get to substitute your classes. Thanks a million from the bottom of my heart. There we go, says Gurr. Only 2 days. Women World Cup, Spain won 3-0, says the Jimbo Roosters. Yes, I think Spain's one of the favourites. At least that's what I've been hearing. A day of urns and ashes. There we go, says Heidi. Absolutely. Michael coming in from Vancouver, Canada. Trying to get through the chat here quite a lot before the sun goes down and it gets too dark. Cheers from Vancouver, Canada. Hopefully Spain ends up with a government that is competent, unlike the left wing we have in Canada that has ruined pretty much everything. Moving to Portugal. There we go, Michael. Remember, Portugal is a left-wing government too. So I don't know whether that's going to influence or have an influence on you. Kathy's normally in the US. They've had a very wet summer. I'm finally getting warm there. Sorry, says Kathy. Portugal is wonderful. You'll love the weather, says Randy. Randy's been here, for a few years from the States. Randy and his wife. Taraz, so speaking from experience there. Taraz saying, thanks for doing this live. I'm sitting with bated breath as the outcome could affect my citizenship process, which is super importante for us. I don't think it'll have much of an impact on that. depending, of course, if it's just the normal citizenship process. I don't think so, but you never know. What else? Let's have a look here. Buenos días desde los Estados Unidos. News and analysis with Arturo. There we go. Buenos días desde los Estados Unidos. We've got another super chat here from Michael, Canadian $5. Enjoy the coffee. Thank you very much, Michael, for that. I will indeed enjoy my coffee. Thank you very much for that. What else? Let's have a look. Howdy. Do you think Brits should vote or keep out of it? I don't think we can. I don't think nobody can vote except Spanish residents in these elections. So unless you've gone through the process of becoming a Spanish citizen, which I know many British people have in recent times. In fact, I was speaking to one yesterday. My friend Gordon, who's in the process, just passed his Spanish test, 98%. So passed that one with flying colours. And going for the, what's the other one called? That's like, I think it's some type of citizen type of quiz that you have to answer different questions on Spanish culture, history, and the like. So he's in the process, is Gordon. Philip coming in from East Tennessee. Enjoy Portugal. Thank you very much, Philip, for that. I will. Manuel coming in from Valencia. Glad I could make it to the stream. He says, just dreading the heat wave we expect here at 41 degrees. Yeah, a bit hot in Valencia, 41. I will say that. What's my prediction? Close call, I reckon. Yeah, probably be close. Not sure. We'll see what the impact of those minority parties is, what they can scrape together, and we'll see if anyone gets to that magical 176 escaños, as they say here, to control the parliament and then become president of the government or prime minister. There we go. Different gear saying hopefully votes haven't been sold and bought. Haven't heard anything about it. I think it's a fairly clean election. Alan's going to Iceland for a week and then to El Puerto for Cruzcampo Paradise. Absolutely. Got a can of Cruzcampo just over there, Alan, that I'm going to be trying very shortly in my beer videos. Just over there I can see it. Cruzcampo. Hild also here talking about Antonio Valderrama's comments, which are quite active, Antonio, with his opinion here. But it's an open forum. As long as people don't start abusing other people, nobody gets banned. Don't normally get much of that. What else we got going on here? Do you have to pay car tax in Spain? Yes, you have to pay a municipal car tax, which is around 120 euros, I think, for my car. 120 euros a year, which you pay to your local council. That's the tax for driving. Then, of course, when your car gets to a certain age, you have to pay an MOT or they call it like an IV. What's it called here? I can't remember. But it's like an MOT where you have to go over the pits and get your car checked and get a little sticker to stick on it to make sure that it is roadworthy. ITV is what it's called. It's just come to me. Haven't seen any vote results for Spain. I hope Vox don't get in, says Leah. From sunny Seville. Yeah, a lot of people are hoping that, Leah. But we'll wait and see, because it's going to be necessary for a change of government. So we'll see if that is the case. Some people hoping for change, some people hoping for the same. So we'll see what happens. What else? Let's have a look here. All right, this is the article here. So the article in question talked about the possibility of a second round of elections depending on the results. Yeah, so if there's a hung parliament, of course, but we won't know if that's the case until at least tomorrow, or perhaps even later. We'll have to wait and see. 20 euro super chat from Glees Me. Thank you very much. Towards the Portuguese tolls. Yeah, well, that would just about cover my trip here, which was about 22 euros, I think. I don't have to cross a bridge, so I'm lucky. So if you come through Lisbon and you cross that bridge, that's another charge as well. That pushes it up to around 25 or 26. But if you come from the route that I take, $22, I think, is what I pay. Maybe a little bit less, not sure. But thanks for the super chat, Lease Me. Appreciated. Canada, they have a Prime Minister. Yeah, I thought that was the case. Prime Minister there. Governor General who represents King Charles III. Yeah, it's the same system as in Australia, the same system in New Zealand, and the same system in other Commonwealth countries, I think. We all have the same system, the Westminster system of government with the Queen, or the King, I should say, as the head of state, represented by a Governor General. Same in Australia, same in Canada, same in New Zealand, and I would even go as far to say that it's the same in other parts of the world as well that are in the Commonwealth, but I can't guarantee it. Dave, Madrid correspondent, coming in. Happy Sunday. Hope the weather's cooled down, Dave. I hear that it has in Madrid, which is good. Gloria says that Vox sounds like the MAGA right-wing dingers here in the USA. Yeah, I don't know whether they go to that extreme, Gloria, because some of the things I see on the internet about the MAGA crew really surprise me, and we don't get that level of radicalism, I don't think, or at least they don't express themselves in the same way that you can see on many videos on the internet about the Make America Great Again voters. Not everyone, of course. Let's not go over the top, but some extremists. Let me see how I'm going in this chat section. Let me see how I'm going. Valeria says that I've been a resident for 20 years. You should have the choice to vote as you pay taxes. Yeah, this is a controversial topic, Valeria, because some people think that. Personally, I do. I think that there should be something like that for people that have been a resident for a long time. But then again, if you don't commit to the country, some other people would say, then why should you have the right to vote? That's the question, right? Don't know about it. It's a controversial one. Gur says that if you drive between two tolls too fast, above the speed limit, you get automatically fined at the second toll. Also fines for non-use of seatbelts. There we go. Germany taking it to another level. Doesn't happen here. And I can say that because I've driven fast from one toll to the other and have been fined for it. But Germany really pushing the boundaries there, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. But here, very easy to go fast on the motorways. Very easy to go fast, I will say. Exit polls are illegal in Spain. There we go. No exit polls in Spain. Thanks, Eric, for pointing that one out. That's the strength of the community, of course. Strength of the community. We find out answers to these questions very, very quickly. JM saying that voting is down because people are on holiday. No one can afford to go back and forth. Yes, that is true. That's why it is down. But people have made the effort. I know a lot of people that made the effort to get their postal vote. I know at least 5 people that made the effort to go to the post office and register for the postal vote. Be home when it was delivered, because that's one of the things as well. You have to be home when it's delivered, or you have to go to the post office subsequently and pick it up. And then you have to go to the post office again to hand it in. So some people went to the effort. Thunderduck Sale Randy saying, yeah, you're in Portugal. We're thinking about getting out of Lisbon while the Pope is here. Temps in Seville are hot. Yeah, absolutely, Randy. I would recommend getting out of Lisbon when the Pope is there, because it will be chaos. It will be chaos with, I don't know how many people are planning to show up, but there was one in Madrid a few years ago. Can't remember exactly when, probably 2013 maybe. Millions. Good morning, Portugal. Carl and company. And anything unusual likely from this election, Stu? Or just to check up the same neo-lib bottom. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get too much of a change, to be honest. I said this yesterday, Carl, that no matter who gets into power, there might be some changes, there might be some laws that are reversed that the new government doesn't agree with, some of the agreements that were maybe made with some of those independent separatist parties, I should say. Maybe some of those will be wound back, don't know. But I don't think there's going to be too much of a change for the general majority. Maybe for some minorities there could be a change. I don't know. But we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Julian saying that damp in the middle of England. We are driving past. Was wet after driving past Manchester this morning. I think it rained all day in Manchester. At least that's my my information. Rained all day. Rained all day. Randy's been in Lisbon since 2021. Yeah, so knowing the country well, I imagine, is Randy and Brenda, his wife. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. I'm a Dane and I can only vote in local elections, not the national ones. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because European Union citizens get the opportunity to vote in the local elections, but not in the national ones, as I said before. Pete, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Pete. Something better than Torrefacto, hopefully. Something less bitter, not just in the brew. Nice coffee here in Portugal, I will say. I had a nice coffee this morning, so I can't complain about the coffee here at the moment. Vox is winning, I see. I don't see that. How I see, says that person there. Yeah, they're not going to win. Don't worry about that. They might have an influence in a right-wing government, maybe. But the polls are showing that they're not going to get any more than 35, 36 seats, which is a long way off what they need to govern. So don't worry about that, Vox. What else we got going on at the moment? SM. In Belgium, there are no tolls on the roads are free, while in other countries, either tolls or vignettes. Barcelona, they just started to remove the tolls, and now they need to add them back. Yeah, I think that's the issue, isn't it? They've just removed tolls, and now they're talking about bringing them back. So we'll see about that. As an autonomo, I can say that Sanchez is not good for us. Well, no government is good for autonomos. Doesn't matter whether it's this one or the next one. The fact of the matter is that they're always going to be changing the social security system to try and make it virtually... Well, it's been difficult ever since I've been self-employed, to be honest. So you have to pay a lot of money every month for your social security and things like that. And that hasn't changed regardless of who's in power. So it's not going to change if another government gets into power. Maybe there might be some slight changes, maybe. But I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for any changes there. When the diggers finally die out, I suspect Australia will become a full republic, especially now the Queen is dead. Yeah, they're talking about it, Alan. There's a conversation going on. Currently, if you listen to Australian radio, it's being pushed by some stations down there. And with the current Prime Minister, I imagine that if he gets a second term, he will propose another referendum on the Republic like there was back in 98, was there? But we'll see about that. But yeah, the older generations are what keep the monarchy alive in Australia. No doubt about that. So we'll see what happens going forward. And as I said, the current Prime Minister, Mr. Albanese, has openly said that he's a Republican. He's openly said it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. SM saying, thanks for the update. Perfect holiday and friendly atmosphere. Awesome job. Thank you very much for that. We're going to bring it to an end soon. We've been going for 53 minutes. It's a special day today. Was I stopped on the border because of the Pope's visit? The official controls or checks haven't come in yet. They actually came in today or yesterday. That's right. But I came here last Wednesday, Carl, and I was surprised. I did see the GNR on the road, and they were stopping vehicle. Well, they were telling vehicles to slow down, having a look at who was inside the vehicle. So they are at all of the access points into Portugal now, officially. But when I came through on Wednesday, it was unofficial. I just got waved through, so I didn't have any problems. But the GNR were on the borders, and I imagine now, as I said, that they are checking everybody who's coming through, if that's possible, of course, because there's a lot of traffic crossing those borders. Lars coming in as well, saying good evening. I'm trying to get to the end of the chat here. It's taking a while. Let me see how far away I am. Not far. Let me see. I want to bring this to an end because the family will be home soon. Paul saying, here comes Franco part 2. Don't think so, Paul. I don't think so. Vox is, they are on the right side of politics, but I don't think it's, similar conditions to what it was back in 1936, right? Don't think so. What else? Let's have a look here. Gur saying that I can't think why people will vote for them. I guess it's part of the older Catholic Church believes. Conservative. Yeah, very conservative. Very conservative. The structure of Vox was broken open by one of the people that left the party, I think, earlier this year. She said, who's behind Vox? And, ultra-Catholic groups are in there, I think. So that's part of the nature. And that's reflected in some of their opinions, of course. So, but as I said, if they get into power, they probably will try, but of course, watered down versions. We saw in Castilla y Leon, they tried to ban abortion, I think, again, but they didn't get very far doing that because there was an outrage. The majority of the country doesn't want to go backwards in that regards. I think they just want to get Sanchez out of power, to be honest. I think that's what a lot of people want. And things will work their way out as the years go by, but I don't think we're going back to those days. I don't think we're going back to those days. What else? Let's have a look here quickly. Now, I'm going to bring the live stream to an end. I've been going on here for 56 minutes, which is a bit long. A bit longer than I normally go on for, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I'll be back again on Tuesday, I think. I haven't set it up yet, but I will set it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching today. Thanks, everybody that contributed through Super Chats to the channel. I'll just put the support icon on the screen, so thank you very much for that. Super thanks, Super Chat, coffee, people that have bought me a coffee, Patreon, the longer-term supporters, thank you very much. As I said, back again most likely on Tuesday. Can't guarantee it. I should have another video out tomorrow, hopefully. I'll wait and see. Again, not 100% sure, but it's my plan at the moment to do something like that because we most likely will have an idea of what's happened in the election. So I want to get that information out tomorrow if I can. Whether we do have a new government, whether we do have a hung parliament, we will know tomorrow, no doubt. So hasta luego, hasta entonces. Thanks for watching. Adios.